Hello and welcome to my channel. So in this video I'm going to do a reading for the week ahead, so looking from today, which is Monday the 12th? Yes, the 12th of August, and looking for the week ahead. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology, and I'm going to do a tarot reading using Aleister Crowley's Thoth tarot deck. If you follow me for some time, you'll notice that the setup is slightly different. I'm just trying something new, and just see if it works. So yeah, so talking about the astrology a little bit, there's quite a lot going on. But the main thing I want to talk about is on Wednesday, we have a Mars Jupiter conjunction happening in the sign of Gemini. So this is quite a rare sort of occasion because Jupiter is only ever in a sign once every 12 years. So it'll be in Gemini only once every 12 years. And Mars conjoining it doesn't happen that often for that reason, because Jupiter doesn't stay in a sign Jupiter stays in signs for a really long time, like about a year roughly. So yeah, so it's quite a unique moment, let's say. And Mars being the planet of like drive, of courage in its sort of highest form of ambition, but it can also be aggressive. It can be sort of yeah, like yeah, aggressive. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of abundance, of bigness. So when Jupiter meets Mars, it's kind of like things are quite amplified, or like I would see it as like it expands upon what Mars is. So it could show up as feeling more driven, more courageous, more the sort of higher octaves of of Mars, or it could be that we might see collectively more aggression potentially. So that's something to sort of look out for. And with it being in Gemini as well, it might be Gemini is the sign of like communication, of words. It, rules like our hands and lungs. So it's more about our communication and how we gesticulate, right? How we communicate. So it might be something that like around amplifying aggression in the realms of things that we're saying could be one manifestation of that. So it's just something to look out for if things feel a little bit tense potentially. But again, it might manifest in different ways as well, more in its sort of like directive energy. So that's happening on Wednesday, but it's also going to be squaring Saturn. So Saturn being the planet of like being realistic, being responsible. So yeah, it feels like there's a little bit of tension there because Saturn wants us to be realistic and Mars and Jupiter like want to go big. So it's like balancing like bigness and expansion and ideas and optimism with realism and with like practicality, which is Saturn. So it's sort of this balancing act of like, yeah, being grounded, Saturn, and Jupiter, which wants things to be kind of big. So interesting sort of week, and it feels like this is going to be a week where there's going to be a lot to do, but you might not get everything done, and that is okay. So Saturn is going to ask us to really choose what is important. It's going to be very fixated, that's maybe not quite the word, focused on asking us to like choose what is important rather than trying to do everything else. It's not about burning ourselves out and like trying to do everything. It's just like there is a kind of signature that's like there's so much to do and you can't get it all done. Don't worry about it. I've been feeling this a lot, like today even though it's not happening today, you might feel it around that date. So I've really felt this sort of like overwhelmed because I think like Mars in Gemini is quite overwhelming. I've really felt the Mars and Mars and Gemini-ness of it all. We've got quite a lot of planets at the moment as well in mutable signs. So we've got Jupiter and Mars in Gemini. We've got Venus in Virgo, and we've also got Mercury in Virgo, which again, Gemini and Virgo are mutable. We've got Saturn in Pisces. So there's quite a lot of mutable energy, and mutable is like it's the modality that is very flexible, very adaptable, and shape shifting. So it does feel like things are quite chaotic. I'm definitely feeling this energy myself. Does feel like it's hard to get everything done. I'm really struggling to do that personally. But also, it's about giving yourself grace for not being able to get everything done, because there's only so much time. That's Saturn's like, there's only so much time you've got. It's okay. So just be discerning this week about what it is that you do want to focus your energy on, and not try and worry about everything and overwhelming your nervous system and frying, I just think there's really something to look out for there. So I'm going to get into the reading using the cards now to see the energy and main themes this week. There we go, that's one. I'll show you in a second. Ooh, it's really warm here as well. Ooh, feeling that. Main themes coming up this week, please, for the collective and those watching. That's one. Sorry, that's just fallen down there. Yes. Okay. One more, please. Interesting. Okay, two came out there. Okay, so let me show you what we've got here. First one we've got is the Devil. So again, like, to me, this is like Saturn. So it's Capricorn's card, actually. That's the Capricorn glyph there. Or is it there? Yes, that is right. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, so it's very much like not getting caught up in our addictive tendencies. So again, that's like the Devil, really. Like, the Devil speaks of, yeah, like just minding out for getting caught up in unhealthy coping mechanisms is one thing. Actually, that feels really important to say. There could be something this week of like needing to lean on your self-care practices more, so that if you are feeling this chaotic energy, it might drive you to like want to scroll more on your phone, or like want to check out, or like want to drink more alcohol, or eat the food that you don't really need. Like, there's nothing wrong with eating food, right? But it's like, if you're doing it for comfort, it's like minding out for these behaviors that feel good in the moment to help you cope, but actually make things worse. So Saturn is like, when Saturn is balanced in us, as a, like, because we all have all of the planets archetypes in our psyche in terms of like our personality. When Saturn is balanced, it's like Saturn wants us to do the healthy coping mechanisms, because that's actually what's going to help us, even though it doesn't always feel like fun to do it. So like, let me put this into an example. This feels important to talk about. So for example, Saturn loves it when you show up for like drinking enough water, eating good food, like making sure that you go for a walk or move your body or do some kind of physical exercise. And it's not to punish you, it's because those are the kind of coping mechanisms that actually do help you, but they don't always feel like, Saturn doesn't care if it's fun or not. It's about doing it because it's the ultimate form of self-care. It's about doing it to nourish and nurture and take care of yourself. So there is something about just watching out for some like coping mechanisms. And if you do go into that and find yourself scrolling loads or whatever, don't beat yourself up, just notice it, and then like ask yourself, is this actually making me feel better? Because that's the bit when we actually really become aware of our behaviors that feel like soothing in the moment, like having too much food or having too much alcohol. They feel soothing, but do they make us feel ultimately worse afterwards? And just looking out for that, I really feel like that's why that's here. We have also got the Princess of Discs. I feel like this is really like talking about making sure that we just get grounded, because there is so much chaotic energy this week. It could also be for some of you that there's something new in the realms of your physical world coming in. So maybe you've been trying to manifest something physically and you might start seeing that coming through this week, whether that's in the form of a job, a career, new money. The reason I say new is because it's a princess rather than like a king or a queen, which is more established. So it's a little bit similar to like the pages in traditional tarot. Like the page is a new pursuit of something physical, something tangible, something real. So quite earthy energy so far. But then we do also have here two cards that have come out together, Princess of Cups, and we've got the Moon. Now the Moon as a card could sometimes speak of the moon as in like, you know, full moon or something, but actually we don't have a full moon this week, or a new moon for that matter. So it doesn't feel like it's moon related in that way. What it feels like, it's more asking us to become with these together, it's about becoming conscious of our unconscious behavior, doing some shadow work, like noticing where we're getting into more destructive behavior, especially with all of this, like Mars being amplified. Another sort of, what's the word? I never like to say like the bad side of something because I don't think of it like that, but there's a sort of like lower octave of Mars is to be quite destructive, and just looking out for that this week and being really mindful of like, where are we being potentially destructive, or where are you seeing it? Like in general you might see that a little bit more because Mars has got so much amplification this week. And with the Princess of Cups here, cups is water, so there is maybe something about just like cooling off, like with all of this heat. So with Mars again being a hot fiery planet, it's like maybe there's something about needing to cool off, take a step back, not kind of get sucked in if there is some aggressive words being exchanged if you like. Okay, so potential challenges this week, please. For those watching, potential challenges this week. Ooh, interesting. We've got the Death card. So, the Death card speaks of transformation. It feels like we're going through a huge, I mean, I am feeling this personally, a hugely transformative period, which is asking us to kill off the old, letting the old die, so that we can be birthed into the new. But with this being in the challenge, because I actually think that the Death card is a positive card, so to speak, but with it being in the challenge, it might feel quite sticky. It might feel like this transformation that's taking place is not in the fun, easy part of it, right? It's like the gooey, sticky, like trying to break out, but it feels hard, and there's like a shedding going on, and shedding is not always easy, right? It does feel like, especially with the Devil and Death here, it's like it doesn't feel like an easygoing week, if I'm honest. So challenges is that whatever you're going through might feel sticky and uncomfortable. Interesting. Okay, something to look forward to, please. We're being challenged, I think, this week. Yeah. Something to look forward to, please, for this week. Oops. Yeah, a few too many. Nice. Okay. Four of Discs, power. Stability as well. Interesting, because it does feel like things are chaotic. But what I'm getting is this is a Sun in Capricorn card. So that's the Capricorn glyph there. And actually, this is so interesting because we've got another Capricorn. There's a lot of very earthy energy. But yeah, with this being in something to look forward to, it's that it feels like Saturn is going to be helping us. So Saturn is playing a role here. And it is about getting grounded, getting really grounded, and knowing that, like, if we just get systems in place, because Capricorn rules systems, Capricorn rules like structures. I love how this card is literally a structure. And the way I think of it is um, like when I think of Saturn, I think of Saturn being like the sandbox, like so you have the sand that you play in, and then Saturn is the sandbox, which is the container for the sand so that it's fun to play in. Like, we need containers, we need limitations, we need restrictions so that we don't like burn ourselves out. So there is something here about like systems and structures, and saying no and boundaries are going to be like really helpful this week. And I really do feel like that, because with it being so chaotic, it's like we can't do all of the things, and that's okay. We have to practice our ability to say no. We have to practice our ability to say no to ourselves when we find ourselves being like, oh, but I want to just like have the drink when I know it's going to make me feel rubbish. It's like getting really good at being the father, the inner father. I'm really getting like father energy, because Capricorn is like the father. So like how we can be the fathers to ourselves, the loving father that's like, is this actually helping you? How could you help yourself? What do you need? Do you need water? Do you need a system? Do you need something so that, yeah, like when we have systems in place, that we're not having to like try and remember everything. Like, you know, an example of a system is like a to-do list. Instead of like holding all of the things I need to do in my head, it's like maybe you need something to put everything down to help yourself this week, if that makes sense. So that our ideas can flourish, so that our creativity can flourish, so that, yeah, so that we can play in the sand and it be fun because we have a container for it, if that makes sense. Okay, guidance to navigate this week, please. Interesting. I love this so much. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we've got 5 of Swords and we've got 6 of Swords. Like, interesting. So to me, this feels like accept defeat. It's the defeat card that says defeat there. Accepting defeat. Sometimes like it's okay to just be like, I can't do all the things. Again, I just cannot stress this enough. I really feel like that is so much what it is this week. We cannot do all of the things. Capricorn is like, no. We're going through something difficult. We need space. We need to say no. We need to be discerning. So admitting defeat and like being really, really okay with it, because then we're going to move into smoother waters. We're going to move into an easier time if we just say no. That's really honestly like the guidance this week is like, don't try and do all the things. You don't need to. It's totally fine. Anyway, that's everything for this reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have enjoyed that, liking, commenting, subscribing really, really helps. So thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Mwah.